Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about some of my favorite go-to foundations at the moment. I'm going to talk about 5 different foundations, but before I get into that, I want to talk to you guys about my skin type. I am combination, which means I'm normal to dry, and I do tend to get a little bit oily here in the T-zone. In the winter, of course, I am a lot more dry, so I just make sure I prep and moisturize my skin a lot more before applying foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the lightest coverage and then work my way up to what I think is the fullest coverage, at least 5. So if you're not my skin type, don't think that these foundations are not going to work for you. A lot of these foundations are going to work for all skin types: oily, normal, dry, combination. The first foundation I'm going to talk about is the Dream Cushion Foundation by Maybelline. So some of the things that I like about this foundation is easy to travel with. It's like the on-the-go foundation. It actually says liquid foundation on the go. So it comes with a little sponge, which I don't have. I always throw it out because I don't like using that specific sponge. This is what it looks like on the inside. So it's like a wet cushion. I love touching it. This is where the foundation is. I like to apply it using my own sponge or a brush. It has a luminous finish. It feels really light on the face. It does have like a light to medium coverage. I personally like to go in and apply a light layer all over the face and then just apply a little bit more in the areas that I feel like I need more coverage, which is usually the sides of my face. It's where I have more blemishes. It has a light coverage, but you can build it into like an almost medium coverage. I love wearing this during the day, and it feels very luminous and fresh on the face. The only bad thing about this foundation that I can say is that it only comes in 8 shades. Let me check. That's what I see on their website. So that's the only bad thing about this foundation. I love everything else, and it's drugstore. Who doesn't like drugstore products, right? The next foundation is the Hella Flawless by Benefit. It has SPF 25. I don't get any flashback. What I like about this foundation is that it's oil-free. I do have to apply a little bit of like powder in my T-zone after like maybe, I don't know, 5-6 hours of wearing it, which is a long time. I've been wearing this for a while and I love it. It only comes in 9 shades. I wear beige and ivory. I actually have to mix these two together because, like I said, there aren't enough shades. I know there's like a huge jump between these 2 shades, but it just makes it easier for me to mix and then kind of like meet in the middle. What I like about this foundation is that I can wear it in the daytime and nighttime. And that's because I get a light to medium coverage. I almost feel like I can even get almost like a full coverage if I'm going out at night and I want to look more glam. I'll still use this foundation and it'll still give me really, really good coverage. And I want to say this is like my go-to foundation for everything. Like I said, day and nighttime. I've literally worn this foundation out on a pool day, especially when I like go on vacation. This is what I'll put on my face. For the most part. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, why would you wear foundation to the pool? But that's just me. You're always taking pictures and you want to make sure you look a little presentable. I've been wearing it for quite some time and I like that it gives me like a nice dewy, luminous finish. Yeah, I think that literally covers why I love this foundation and why it's one of my favorites, because it's literally like my go-to. Next up is the Shameless Youthful Look Longwear Foundation by Marc Jacobs. Pretty long name. So this launched not too long ago. I was in Paris with Marc Jacobs and the team. By the way, it was my first time in Europe and I loved it. It was amazing. So we were there for the launch of this product. I wore it for almost the entire week I was there. It was a little dry out there. It was so windy, like so windy and cold. So I did feel like it cracked a little bit here, but I think it's just because my skin was really dry out there. I have worn it a couple times here and that hasn't happened. So that's the only thing I can say about this foundation that I noticed in Paris that I haven't noticed here. So maybe something to keep in mind. Some of the things that I love about this foundation, I love the shade range. I believe I'm on Sephora.com and it says there's 29 shades. That's definitely a plus for me. It is meant to fit all skin types, so oily, combination, dry, normal. So it has SPF 25. It guarantees you not to have any flashback. I also love the coverage. It is medium coverage. It's self-setting. Even though I knew it was self-setting, I kind of played myself the first day I wore it. I applied a setting powder the way I would normally set all my other foundations. It felt a little uncomfortable. I don't know, like a little little too stiff. So make sure if you don't have this foundation and you do go out and get it, make sure you don't apply too much powder. Like I said, it's self-setting, so I know some people might skip the powder part. I always have to apply powder, even if it's just a little bit, just because that's just what I prefer. I always have to set all my foundations. I do want to point out that they tell you to use this seamless brush, which is sold separately, for a medium buildable coverage. I haven't used it. I probably should, just to see if it applies any different, but I personally like to apply all my foundations with a sponge, and that's how I apply all my foundations, so I just like to stick to that. I love the compact. I love that it's so convenient to travel with. It's like plastic, not glass. That completes why I love this foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the fourth one. The next foundation is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. This is like an oldie but goodie. This is a foundation that a lot of people go to for like photography, for filming. I think that's why I know a lot of brides tend to go with this foundation. I don't know, I've been using it for years. I always run to this foundation whenever I want to feel smooth, flawless, especially at night. I feel like this looks beautiful in pictures. It is a medium coverage, but I think it's more like medium to full coverage because it really covers everything. This is a foundation that I go to whenever I want to feel covered, but still lightweight. Like anytime I wear this, my face feels like I don't have a full coverage foundation on. Even though online it says it's medium, I think it's more like medium to full coverage. It comes in 40 different shades. It does not have SPF. What else can I say about this foundation? It's good for all skin types. It's the foundation that just lasts the longest. I don't have to powder myself. I know I can count on this foundation. Great coverage, and like I said, it's been around. I just love it. Last but not least, Studio Fix Fluid by MAC. This guy right here is super full coverage, so you're definitely gonna feel like you have makeup on. I don't think that's a bad thing, but something to keep in mind. I love this foundation because it's full coverage, and I'm a full coverage kind of girl. So I was first introduced to this foundation back in 2012. So it's been a couple years. I know this guy always has my back. So this is like a super oldie but goodie. I love it. It always covers everything. And it also photographs so bomb. I love wearing this. Every time I wear it, my face just looks like super smooth. I don't even feel like I need to use any filters. I'm just like, you know. I had to go online because I feel like I'm gonna forget to cover some things that I feel like are important. It says it's long wearing, reduces appearances of pores, controls oil and shine, non-drying. It's for all skin types, especially oily skin. Photo friendly. See, I was right. It photographs beautifully. Okay, so I think I did cover everything. So that completes my 5 go-to favorite foundations at the moment. I hope that I covered everything. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Bear with me, guys. It's my first video in a long time. But if you have any questions, any comments, leave them down below, and I promise I will answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, for being subscribed, and for sticking around. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.